That was Jack's. I bet a cat that keeps digging.
We're good to go in about 60 seconds.
All right.
That was Jack's. I bet a cat that keeps digging.
We're good to go in about 60 seconds.
All right.
That was Jack's. I bet a cat that keeps digging.
We're good to go in about 60 seconds.
All right.
Say like a test. Testing. 1, 2, 12. That was Jack's. I bet a cat that keeps digging.
We're good to go in about 60 seconds.
Record it. It's going good.
We're gonna kill it and start over. So give us
Yeah, sounds good. So it recorded us and it was repeating it.
Okay, I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's all good.
All right. Okay. At this time, I call to order this public hearing of the Bonner County Hearing Examiner on July 2nd, 2025 at 1:31 in the afternoon. We are located on the first floor conference room of the Bonner County Administration Building, 1500 Highway 2, Sandpoint, Idaho. We are streaming online via Zoom and YouTube. Is there anyone in attendance in need of special assistance to hear, see, or participate in these proceedings? Okay, please take note of the hearing procedures on the screens.
We can present it when we get to the hearing.
Okay.
So
All right. Okay, so I will be submitting my written decision within 5 business days of this hearing. At this time, I'd like to lead the room in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Okay, are there any changes to today's agenda? Okay. Alrighty. Any announcements?
No.
No. Any corrections or changes to the June 18th, 2025 hearing minutes?
we don't.
Okay, then I declare them approved. All right, so today we are starting with file CUP 0005-23, a conditional use permit retreat / private community facility. The applicants are requesting a time extension of conditional use permit CUP 0005-23, originally approved by me, the hearing examiner Rucker, on June 21st, 2023, specifically seeking additional time to fulfill condition B, which requires annexation into the Selkirk-Sagal Fire District prior to issuance of this permit. I have no conflict of interest, so yours in.
Again, Examiner Daniel Britt, I accept for the record, as you mentioned, we're here to discuss a time extent or request a time extension for a retreat private community facility in order to meet condition B1. And that condition is the applicant shall annex into the Selkirk-Sagal Fire District. They have gone through the process of doing that. However, the state's tax commission has held it up a little bit. The request was received before the expiration of the CUP. So you're aware of it. They're by Bonner County Code 12-226C, allows for an applicant to request this extension up to 2 years to meet the conditions.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions? Did the applicant want to present anything?
Jeremy Grimm, Whiskey Rock Planning, representing the applicant on this file. Just to cover the facts, yes, we had your original decision and we're proceeding towards compliance. We had the June 23rd deadline for that. 2025. One of the conditions, B conditions, B1, that the applicant shall annex into the Selkirk Sacred Fire District. For several months, we've been working with the Selkirk Fire District to get that annexation approval. On June 12th, the district did move to approve that annexation. And this is really just a question of technicalities. On June 12th, Tammy Miller, the Selkirk Fire and Rescue Administrator, sent that notice to Veronica Dixon at Bonner County, saying that they had completed the annexation and what additional steps are needed. Veronica wrote back and said they need a legal description prepared by a surveyor for meets and bounds of the property. So that was kind of an unknown to us. So we are preparing to do that. It's just going to take some time. So we just need a little time to fix that technicality. I would guess 6 months should be plenty.
Thank you. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to read the rules of testimony. If you wish to testify, you will need to please state your name for the record. Public testimony is limited to 3 minutes per person. You may give your 3 minutes to another person, but they may have up to 6 minutes to speak, but no one will be allowed more than 6 minutes. Public comments are limited to the specifics of this application. If you agree with another speaker, please just acknowledge agreement. No need to repeat the information again. Any personal or derogatory comments about another person or their position will not be allowed. Clapping, cheering, or booing will not be allowed either. Is there anyone that has a written statement they'd like to enter into the record?
Real quick,
Go
if I
ahead.
may.
Mhm.
Jacob Bell, Planning Director. So this is not a typical, most of your action items are public hearings.
Okay,
This is not a public hearing. This is just an action item for you to make a decision on. If you want to elicit public comment, feel free.
okay,
But this wasn't noticed in the paper. It's not we didn't follow any LUPA-based decision-making process for notices, nor did any of the neighbors get notices, because this has been approved. And now they're asking for essentially a time extension given the requests or given the details in the request. So you don't have to open it up as a public hearing because it's not. Yeah. But you feel free to, if you want to get public input, you can. But that's why if someone's looking at this as a public hearing, they're going to look for a notice in the paper and they won't find one because of
okay,
those reasons.
okay, so ignore everything I just said. Okay. Alrighty, okay, so on that same note, Jake, will I be giving the official decision letter like I've had to in the past with these other?
So time extensions don't really have a whole lot of standards for review.
Okay,
That's why Daniel didn't really prepare much for this outside of what he read into the record. And the only thing required by code from the applicants is the request itself. So
okay,
it's up to you to determine whether or not that's a reasonable request without a whole lot of standards to review it again. So
okay,
it seems to be there's some rationale based on what the applicant provided.
yeah,
Usually when we see time extension requests, it's like a 1-page memo.
okay,
There's not findings or conclusions. It's just a approve or deny.
okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so yes, I see where this was out of the applicant's control, and based on the State Tax Commission request, I can understand why the applicant would ask for this extension. So yes, I am granting the extension request for CUP 0005-23 and annexation condition B-1 for this file. And then at this time, I'm closing file CUP 0005-23. That hopefully was enough.
That was for 2 years, the time extension.
Oh,
What was requested?
is it written in there?
I think the request was for 2 years, right?
I just said
I think
6
he said
months,
it
but,
was- 6 months. Okay.
A year would be great.
I did not
If you
see
can
that.
specify a duration, that gives
Okay.
us the expiration date. So I think they asked for 6 months. If you want to give them 6 months or a year, it's up to you.
Okay, okay, so undoing the closing of file CUP 0005-23. Again, I am approving the request for extension and I'm going to give the applicant 1 year of this to address this issue for condition B-1. Does that work? Well, that was fun. Okay, now I'm closing file CUP 0005-23. Something new every time. I'll have to record that video. Okay, so having said all that, bumbled through it, we are moving on to file V 0013-25, a variance street setback and bulk increase. The applicants are requesting a variance to the setback standards to allow for a 1-foot setback where 25 feet is required, and a bulk increase within the shoreline setback and right-of-way setback to allow for a 37% increase in bulk to accommodate an addition to the single-family dwelling and attached deck. This 0.303 acre property is zoned rural 5. The project site is located off Sandpiper Shores Road in section 10, township 62 north, range 4 west. Holy crap. Sorry.
Yeah.
Range 4 west, Boise Marine. The property site is within the service area of north of the Narrows Fire District. I have no conflict of interest. It's all yours, Dave.
Dave Fisher, Bonner County Planning.
Go ahead, Dave.
Again, a street setback and bulk increase for Mark and Terry Overson. File V 1325. Project summary, the applicants are requesting a variance to the setback standards to allow for a 1-foot setback where 25 feet is required, and a bulk increase within the shoreline setback and right-of-way setback to allow for a 37% increase in bulk to accommodate an addition to the single-family dwelling and attached deck. Project site is located off Sandpiper Shores Road in section 10, township 62 north, range 4 west, Boise Meridian. The proposed site plan showing the steps there, 1 foot away from the turnaround. Background, the land use is residential with a single family dwelling, platted 0.303 acres, zoning designation is rural 5, and comp plan designation is rural residential 5 to 10 acres. Access again off Sandpiper Shores Road, a 60-foot wide Bonner County owned and privately maintained public right of way. Environmental factors include no slopes. I guess they do not include slopes over 30%. Site does contain map wetlands. Site does contain water frontage. And site is within the special flood hazard area zone AE and zone X. Water is provided by Sandpiper Shores Community Water Supply, sewage by Sandpiper Shores Master Utility Incorporated. Fire district is north of the Narrows Fire District. Power supplied by Northern Lights Incorporated and within the West Bonner School District number 83. The applicable sections of Title 12 listed. Agencies replying with a comment include Idaho Department of Environmental Quality and Bonner County Planning Floodplain Review. Agencies that replied with no comment were the Bonner County Historical Society, Idaho Department of Fish and Game, Idaho Transportation Department, Panhandle Health District, and Kootenai Pondere Sewer District. No other agencies responded. And describing whether conditions apply to a property that do not apply generally to other properties in the same zone vicinity, which conditions are a result of lot size, shape, topography, or other circumstances over which the applicant has no control. The application response was the homes on the canal side of Sandpiper Shores Road are located within setbacks. This property lot shape has an awkward shape, leaving only the current area to work within. Staff's response: the existing lot is irregularly shaped, with the existing home sitting just off the cul-de-sac. The waterfront setback and street setback from the cul-de-sac leave an approximate 4-foot building envelope, which could make expansion difficult without increasing the bulk within the setbacks. explaining how special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. The application response, the homeowner is adding a small addition with the deck, which brings the size to an additional 240 square feet. Staff's response, the applicant's lot was platted and recorded on August 11th, 1970 under instrument number 128764. And the applicants purchased the lot on May 28, 2002 under instrument number 602085. The applicants did not create the size or shape of the lot. Explaining how granting the variance is not in conflict with the public interest and that it will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare, or materially injurious to properties or improvements in the vicinity of the subject parcel or lot. The application response, granting this variance will not have any impact on public interest. This will be a small addition to an existing home. Staff response, the applicant's proposal seeks to expand the house within the center of the lot, which increases bulk but does not increase existing setbacks. The increase in the street setback comes from proposed steps onto a deck, which appear to be very minimal. The setbacks to the neighboring parcels are not encroached upon, and no public comments were received that would suggest a hazard. The HOA has granted approval of the project, and the only agency comment suggesting a conflict was from Idaho Department of Environmental Quality. No other comments or findings suggest this proposal would be in conflict with the public interest, detrimental to public health, safety, or welfare, or materially injurious to properties or improvements in the vicinity of the subject lot. Public comments have been received. I believe those were just from the applicant and public comments stating there is no comment. Staff analysis, the proposed variance seeks to allow for a small expansion on an irregularly shaped lot that would be difficult to build upon by current county standards. The applicants did not create this lot and are proposing an expansion that minimizes further setback encroachments. The HOA has approved the proposal, and there does not appear to be any conflict with public interest or hazards associated with the project. Idaho Department of Environmental Quality provided comment due to the proximity of the shoreline. However, the lots sit on a man-made canal, which was not a natural part of Priest Lake. Any questions?
Nope, I don't have any. Thanks, Dave.
Nope.
Okay, at this time, would the applicant like to say anything?
Sure.
And then just make sure you state your name for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Mark Holberstead, and my wife Tori and I are the applicants and the owners of the lot. As David mentioned, we're along the canal, man-made canal, and the homeowners have been appraised of it, and the association has approved of it. And we did email our immediate neighbors to make sure they got the notice. So I'm here to answer any questions.
No.
You make it sound real official with all those numbers after it.
Yeah, they do. And he does a really good job with his report. so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, so now I'll actually read the rules of testimony that I started to earlier. If you wish to testify, you will need to please state your name for the record. Public testimony is limited to 3 minutes per person. You may give your 3 minutes to another person, so they have up to 6 minutes to speak, but no one will be allowed more than 6 minutes. Public comments are limited to the specifics of this application. If you agree with another speaker, please just acknowledge agreement. No need to repeat the information again. Any personal or derogatory comments from another person or position will not be allowed. Clapping, cheering, and booing will not be allowed either. Okay. Is there anyone that has a written statement they'd like to enter into the record?
We have no one online.
No one online either? Okay, so any supporting testimony in person? And if you could just state your name for the record, please.
Hello, my name's Quentin Holbrook. I'm the builder that's trying to help them with this project. And I just wanted to add one other little thing. They're doing kind of a unique roof on it, which is going to be I don't know if they consider it pervious, but it kind of is. It's a green roof. And so it's actually got soil on the roof, and it's all planted with native plants. Just wanted to kind of add that a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. So cool. Okay. All right. So I'm guessing there's no neutral testimony in person. Or opposing testimony in person. Still no one online?
No.
Okay. All right. And there isn't anyone else in the audience, so I'm sure no one else is here to sign in. Okay, so and you guys don't have anything to rebut unless you wanted to add to whatever he had. Okay. All right, then I'm gonna close the hearing to public testimony, and I will take my 5 business days to render my decision. So I'm closing file B0013-25 at this time. Okay. Is there any schedule reminders, updates, or announcements?
So the next meeting we have is on the 16th, and we have 4 agendized items for those days, all public hearings. Just kind of a heads up. That's what's on the current schedule. We'll let you know if anything changes before then. I think you did some training recently on reason statement analysis. If you have any additional questions on that, feel free to chat with staff, and we'd be happy to follow up with another conversation in person or remotely. So we have a bunch of ongoing stuff we're working on the legislative level, so changes to the county codes, and as those get closer to being effectuated, I'll make sure I present those to you and get you copies of the red line versions of those. On the 31st of this month, we're holding a workshop with the board and the planning commission regarding the land use component and implementation component. Those are scheduled for hearing, I believe, October 12th or August 12th. We'll see if they get adopted then. That would finalize our comprehensive planning process that we've been undergoing since, well, for a while, but
Yeah.
actively since 2021, 2022. So
Wow.
outside of that, I don't have any other updates for you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so then we are adjourned until the next planning hearing on Wednesday, July 16th, 2025.
Stand by very much appreciate it. Oh, really? Oh, cool. Yeah. Thanks for.